Hello and welcome back here on the industry stage for the Pitchnext event at the Formnext 2024. We are going in our second round and we are now looking at the startups from the startup area and additionally, very interestingly, at the winner of the AM Summit Pitch event last year from our partner region Nordics, showcasing their products and ideas. And we will start with a common issue we have in additive manufacturing, or rather in the industry itself, because selecting the right part to produce with additive manufacturing is one of the major issues we are facing. What are the parts that make sense from in terms of savings, cost reduction, lead time reduction? That's a common problem. And this might have to do with gaps in digital processes, access to advanced technologies, and the challenge, of course, of identifying the optimal parts efficiently. There's a company called Select AM, so the name is program. They address this topic by helping businesses strategically select parts that maximize the benefits of AM, from cost savings to lead time reductions. And Kalle is here today to show us how Select AM is doing that, and I'm handing over to him now the stage, and I wish you an interesting pitch. Kalle, stage is yours. Welcome.
All right, mic check, can you hear me? So good afternoon, Formnext. My name is Kalle Lepola. I am the Chief Business Officer of Select AM. The name kind of gives it away what we do. So we help companies choose parts and select parts for additive technologies, but also other on-demand manufacturing technologies. For the next couple of minutes, you're gonna help me and I'm gonna help you understand really the million, billion, maybe even $1 trillion question on why do so many companies fail to utilize the full extent of additive manufacturing and on-demand manufacturing. So our idea is really simple. We can run estimations on not only CAD models, but also ERP data. I'm going to show you a little bit of ideas on how that is possible, but the main reasons for companies failing in additive manufacturing, I mean, yes, the designs are maybe not optimal for additive. There's a lack of access to additive technologies. There's knowledge gaps in the processes. There's a really high cost to identify these objects that could make sense economically or logistically or strategically even to be printed. So it's not only the prototyping end, but the full life cycle of the product. And of course, a lot of problems arise also from how the data is managed and where the data is as well. And more often than not, our industry is still seen as innovation and kind of a, when you have a budget overflow, then you can throw money into additive. That's really sad to see, but this is the reality. And this is something we're trying to help companies to break down that barrier. So this is based on research. There's 3 phases into companies' approaches into identification of products. So one would be the traditional. You have your additive manufacturing specialist who basically knows that this part is good for SLM, this part is good for MJF, but it's really gut feeling based. The second one is really when you start to make your systematic approach, you have your Excels, you know your printer's dimensions, and that's really the defining factor of what parts can be printed, right? But it doesn't make sense always economically. And the third one, which Select AM also represents, is really focused on data-driven approach, where we take the data, we crunch the data, and based on that we give you the estimate of how much it would cost to make or to buy. And at the same time, we also say when it's not smart to look into this process or additive in general on demand. And lastly, we also say you have overstock, please consume your stock before even thinking about changing your manufacturing technique for any of the components. And this is really a use case from Denmark. We did a large screening first, and then we narrow it down to maybe 8% of the actual parts of the library that were actually good for any on-demand technology. And there are a few reasons why you should print or why you should go into on-demand. But here are a few. I'm not going to bore you with more details on that case. You can see us at the station, at the startup area, and we have these parts to show. And how we see the future is that our solution will be integrated into execution solutions where you can really make decisions and then execute on those decisions as well to actually maximize the value of additive and on-demand technologies. And it's ongoing, continuous, instead of now based on one person or a team's knowledge. So this is really, in the essence, what we do. Please visit us. And any questions, happy to answer them right now.
First of all, thank you so much for the great presentation. Big applause for Kalle. I do have, of course, several questions because you tackle the business aspect. That's always bad if you're with me on stage. So, but first of all, let's ask the audience. Any questions from the audience? I do have a question.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you do the data crunching for your clients. Are you using AI or are you doing it the classic way? How do you crunch the data for them?
So what we do is we take a large data set, sometimes hundreds of thousands of parts. We crunch first in a way that we eliminate parts that are not good. You know, if it's in the description or if it's in the material that is not available in the technologies in the market. And then basically we funnel it down to, normally if you take 100,000 parts, 8%, so maybe 8,000, 10,000 parts are good for on-demand.
Yeah.
And then we start looking into, okay, why is it good? Is it because of the size, the material, performance, or is it just economically better? Or your minimum order quantities are actually way too high with conventional manufacturing methods.
So there's a business case behind
There's many factors that play in this.
But can I imagine it's like a manual process where you and your experts consider or evaluate the data, or is there any technology behind?
Completely automated. You just basically need to click next. And we have AI-based material matching and a lot of things I cannot say on stage, but yes, a lot of technology behind it.
One question or two questions. What are you looking for exactly here at Formnext, and how much is it?
I answer first, how much is it? It's 400 or 800 euros per month.
Okay.
Per different, we have different packages. What are we really looking for is, of course, we need more users. We want to show the world it's possible to find real use cases in additive. They can be boring parts. They don't always need to be the super engineered parts. Just parts that make sense.
Very good.
That's really what we're looking for.
Nice final answer. Thank you so much, Kalle. It was a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Select AM, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. So what is this year different? So we don't switch or go through software, then coming to materials or machines, whatever. We are mixing it up because we're looking at the startup area, following the path of our Formnext Award. So now we are coming to a topic that deals with materials, because the quality and variety of materials, as Kalle just explained, is very crucial in order to decide on what parts can be produced or not with additive manufacturing. And it determines the success ratio you can have. So if we're looking at polymers, we have a lot of limitations. Might be availability, versatility, or consistency. And this is a kind of restricting a little bit broader applications and innovation. So there's one company you might know if you followed us last year called Alpha Powders, and they working hard on the topic to transform the landscape, and they try to develop new approaches in order to make high quality materials more accessible. And I'm super excited to welcome him on stage because I know he's a very good speaker. So Dominic, where are you? It's a pleasure to have you here. The stage is yours. Please, welcome.
Welcome again. The problem stays. Powders are very tough and expensive to produce. The quality of powders produced today is insufficient for industrial applications. Therefore, Alpha Powders are coming in front of this with technology for production of high-quality powders. How to produce high-quality powders out of plastic. Plastic which is meant to be very hard to be powderized? Well, you need to powderize it somehow, usually using cryogenic technologies. And then you need to restore features essential for 3D printing, such as sphericity. And our technology is doing just that. We are transforming irregular powder into highly spherical polymer powder. Cool, but what are benefits of this? So basically, benefits of this are your powder packs better, and therefore, in results, your parts print better. We are selling services of powder improvement, we are working on full-scale production, and we want to expand with our offer to companies that want to become powder producers. We want to basically make powder production a thing that is not reserved for huge corporations only. Okay, we're raising funds to scale our solution, but now let me go through some advancements of the last year. So, for instance, world first, in collaboration with Fishy Filaments, recycled fishing nets into highly sophisticated powder and parts printed out of it. One of the biggest achievements of last year. Highly sophisticated spherical powders, essential for high toughness parts printing. Confidential collaborations on very important applications. And, of course, rounded polyolefins, which we are exercising and excelling in. Besides that, we expanded with our offer to new areas like recycling. Recycling is a big thing for additive manufacturing. We are producing powder that then is used in only small fraction. And a lot of it basically goes to bin. And we are doing something about it, together with Sintrit. Our polyolefin material came in the market. So polyolefin is a thing that could potentially replace partially polyamide, which is dominating the market today. Why is it important? Well, because polyamide is inherently very high carbon footprint. This all is very low carbon footprint all. And this is important when you print thousands and hundreds of thousands of those. Well, it's not on my presentation, but that's the last thing I wanted to update you on. We came up with a completely new formula for powder for mass production. We call that Formnext. This is a patented technology and patented formula of Valve powders. But what is the most important thing? This is the world's first 3D printed syntactic foam. So what that gives you is very high specific stiffness that was not available so far on the market anywhere else. So, if you're interested in learning more, please visit our booth in Startup Area. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Great presentation again. And I see again how tough the 3.5 minutes are, aren't they? Yeah. Any questions, please? Dominic, for Dominic. Any questions from your side? So I do have a question. You were talking about recycling. I know how difficult it is to recycle polymers.
Yes.
So what is the ratio of recycling? So compared to the initial scrap that you receive and then transform into powder again?
For certain types of waste powder, we can recycle more than 99% of material.
Okay.
There are certain types of materials that only very specific spheritization conditions could help to recycle. Everything depends on the level of degradation. And this is very important to tackle this problem that we haven't standardized even the nomenclature for degradation of polyamide powders, which are mostly everything that we have on the market right now.
Yeah.
So depends on the level of degradation, but also I think we should implement some standards for precise description of level of degradation, which will help in such processes.
Very good. So your final shout out, what do you need or what are you looking for at Formnext?
Well, we love to be here. It's a great place with great energy. We all here for the same reason like every year. We're here for collaborations, for traction, for doing something cool together.
Sounds good to me. Dominic,
thank you very much.
Big applause for you again. Please, Alpha Powders, ladies and gentlemen. So in additive manufacturing, the ability to control not only just the function and form of printed parts, but also their appearance is becoming a more and more powerful tool. if we talk about precision in reflectivity or managing color consistency, appearance control is more and more crucial, especially for industry where aesthetics play a bigger role. There's a company called Additive Appearance, very good name in my opinion, and they are stepping into that complex area with a mission to make appearance control much more feasible and intuitive and precise as possible through advanced software solution. I'm super excited to welcome them on stage. So Thomas will be here to present their solution. Thomas, stage is yours.
Thank you for the introduction. Welcome everyone. My name is Thomas Nindl and I'm with Additive Appearance. Before I tell you a little bit about digital appearance, I want to put your attention to a very day-to-day problem, and that is creating a document from Word or whatever word processing software you're using. I'm using Google here, so you find a document, you open it, this is my employment contract, and then you press the print button and you get this window. And I want you to focus on the left side of this window, which shows you a preview of what will come out of the printer. And the preview is very accurate, right? The colors are correct, the text is in the right place. And maybe some of the older guys like me remember a time when this was not so natural. In additive manufacturing, we do not have the same thing. We do not have appearance preview. And the reason for that is, well, it's very complicated, because there's not only color, but there's also translucency. The surface can have different qualities, like you can see here, it's glossy or matte. I'm sure all of you had to choose 2 different papers in a grocery store, a drugstore at some point. Or everything can happen at the same time, like in this slice of orange that we can see here. Solving this problem in 2D took more than 20 years. There was the desktop publishing revolution. We had software like Quark Express, Adobe PageMaker, and what you see is what you get revolution. Maybe some of you guys remember. But it also built very strong brands like Adobe, to mention just one example. So as a consequence of the difficulties, the additive manufacturing industry so far has only concentrated on getting the shape and the dimensions correct. We can print with all the materials, with metal, with rubber, with silicon, you name it. But creating appearance is kind of in its infancies right now, as you can see here with the guy painting this figurine. We propose that additive manufacturing using multi-material printing unlocks additive digital appearance creation, and this is where our core competency lies. We are scientists from Charles University, and we have invented some very cool algorithms that can help go towards that dream. To talk a little bit about the business model, the core value of our company is actually data. So we need to very accurately measure the properties of all the printing materials in order to feed them into our prediction and optimization software. And to build this data set, we need money. For the customers' end of the business, we sell software. It's the slicer software for resin 3D printers, so Stratasys, Mimaki, but also the single material SLA, DLP technology, using a freemium SaaS business model. We also offer a measurement service that characterizes the measurements. Everyone knows where the money is in this industry. I don't need to repeat this slide here, but we see big potential, notably also in interiors and car interiors specifically, and in the toys industry. Why are we better than the others? We have the best technology built on first principles. We have great user interface. We measure the materials. We have an API that runs in the cloud. We support all operation systems, and our prediction technology is embarrassingly easy, scalable. We built a great team, and I think I'm already over my time, so thanks a lot for your attention.
Big applause, Thomas. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome presentation. So, I mean, I've watched the pictures you showed at the very end, where the others and we do. It's pretty much like on Amazon sometimes. Yeah. So this is reality, or is it?
Yeah, that's real
okay,
thing.
very good. Let's put that first. Second question would be, so what would help you is more and more data in your system in order to get it even better. Is that the right message that I took with it? Or?
It's more about supporting a bigger fraction of the available materials, because the measurement process is super laborious. It takes many days to come up with precise enough values that we can then feed in our software. And I mean, a customer doesn't want to use software that doesn't support the materials he has, right? So we need to build an as big database as possible in order to grab as big of a portion of the market.
And are there already corporations with larger material suppliers or printer manufacturers that had done these surveys about the material? Is that helping, or?
Oh, so we are cooperating with a printer and printhead manufacturer, and we are actually their slicer software that they are shipping with. We are also collaborating with a movie studio that are using multi-material prints to do beautiful stop-motion animations, and for them, bridging the gap between the digital twin and the real thing is obviously super important.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you so much, Thomas. Awesome presentation.
Thank you.
So good luck for you at the fair, okay? Big applause, ladies and gentlemen. So there's a startup coming. I'm really excited, to be honest, because we're talking about something, I don't know. When I first saw it, I couldn't imagine this is really feasible. And tell you what, like 8 years ago, I was meeting a startup that were printing meat. And I was like, this is possible, or vegetables. You probably heard of that. And those are the extraordinary examples we usually don't see in here. And the next company, they say it's not about only plastics in the future anymore. What if you can print silicon, even metal, or some more stranger things I don't want to talk about because I'll leave it to them, at your desktop printer at home? Wouldn't be crazy, wouldn't it? Yeah. So this is the incredible vision of Filament 2. They try to break boundaries and revolutionize the possibilities of additive manufacturing. And imagine a world where you can create intricate silicon molds or even functional metal parts with ease. And I'm super excited to hear how that works. So please welcome with me Aaron Gallo. He is the CEO of Filament 2. Aaron, the stage is yours.
Hi, hello, I'm Eran, the CEO of Filament 2. And we can print steak, but we can print chocolates. So paste 3D printing is full of potential. But today's solution overlooks the simplicity and the power of the printer already on our desk. Our solution is paste to filament. We turn any paste into a filament-like tube, so it works with the standard FDM printers, easy and affordable. This animation explains how we produce our paste filament. We take an empty tube, cut it, fill it, and close it. We can fill any paste material, like silicone, foods, liquids, metal, ceramic, and even biogel. In the photos that you see here, the first silicone part, which was printed on a regular FDM printer. To print our paste, just swap the nozzle with our cutting nozzle. It peels the shell and deposits the paste. And here you can see a chocolate part being printed on just a regular bamboo printer with chocolate filament. A massive opportunity. Our technology serves a multi-billion-dollar markets, including silicone, epoxy, biogels, and the food industry. We serve two markets, selling filaments and nozzles and offering paste filling services. These are our planned milestones with a market launch targeting for Formnext 2025. So we hope that we will have a bigger booth next year. So thank you very much. I invite you to our booth to see the world first silicone and paste materials. Thank you.
Big applause for Aaron. What timing, Aaron? What is going on? So Aaron, come closer to me. Let's stand here in the middle. So are you offering then chocolate at the booth at least, or?
Well, you can eat our filament.
Yeah, that would be the next thing, is it?
Yeah, you can actually, instead of printing you can just put your mouse below the extruder and, you know.
So it's the modern form of a chocolate, I don't know the English word, but you know what I mean, so you can get the chocolate. So what are real-world applications where your solution is already used?
Well, the main thing for us to be in Formnext is to find those markets.
Yeah.
To speak with people, to make strategic partners. And we think that silicon is one of the most innovative material, the next material that we will target.
So are you looking for industry partners, or is it more going into the consumer direction?
It's mostly B2B industry, because they are interested in silicon, metals, and ceramic, and so on.
Very good. So good luck here on the fair.
Thank you very
Enjoy.
much.
And I'm looking forward to the chocolate. I will step by, and of course, you as well, right? You want to try it. Correct.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Eran. Big applause for Eran, ladies and gentlemen. So we are coming to the next interesting company, at least in my opinion. So I don't know how you see it. Additive manufacturing is revolutionizing industrial production. Who would agree here in the audience? Okay, it's just me. No, there's at least one, two. Very good. I mean, you are at Formnext, you know that, right? So I think we can believe that, in my opinion at least. But what if you could push the boundaries even a little bit more? And AdiGuro is here today in order to show us how. They are developing innovative software solutions that elevate the design and production of complex components to a whole new level. So imagine optimizing intricate designs for 3D printing with just a few clicks. Imagine a world where production is more efficient and accessible to everyone. And that's the vision of AdiGuro. And join us on a journey into the future of additive manufacturing and be inspired by the solutions AdiGuro offers. Shushi, it's a pleasure to have you again. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Enjoy the stage, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Sven. Thanks everybody to be here. Happy to be here. So at AdiGuro, we are adding intelligence for additive manufacturing. There's a big elephant in the room. Nobody talks about it. Metal additive manufacturing in particular has up to 40% of defect rate. That's very high amount of defect rate. We are wasting billions of dollars annually, and that's not, it's just not done, right? So we all know that, and then in-process monitoring is getting very popular. But in-process monitoring, if we do it the right way, so then we don't have to CT scan each and every part. We can stop failed prints, and we can save millions and millions of dollars for each and every customer, and as I mentioned, billions annually. So how are we doing it? How is AdiGuro doing it? AdiGuro has been pioneering it by not just using one sensor, but multiple sensors. We started with optical sensors, but then thermal sensors can give you a different type of data. So we bring that in. We use our knowledge of material science. Sorry, something happened to these slides. They've gone a little awkward, but we're using material science, process insight, physics-based modeling, and artificial intelligence, as well as appropriate algorithms to tell you what's going on. So this slide shows AdiGuro as a software platform. We have a very good, easy-to-use user interface, very good AI/ML models, a strong notification engine. But the main thing is, being a modular software, being a software platform, you can bring in data from different types of sensors, analyze them automatically for different types of processes as well. So it's, as a user, as the industry is growing, a user doesn't have to jump around from one software to another, and we are leveraging information from one process to another because there are similarities. So AdiGuro has developed the product using more than actually $3 million in contract research using US Air Force, US Army, US Navy funding, because they really believe in what we are doing. A few pictures here show different type of analysis that we do, and basically it's some multi-sensor analysis, and we have multiple, more than 25 installs, including some installs at the US government, US DoD, Department of Defense, and some universities, some private companies, Prime Aerospace, which I can't put the logo here, but they're using our software as well. So we want to, in 2025, increase the software subscription sales by 5 times. We have done a good job. We have reached a very good level where we can really go after that. And we obviously can connect with OEMs or machine manufacturers like EOS, Renishaw, and all those, and we are talking to them. But also we are looking for strategic investors to supercharge our growth. So if anybody is interested in investing or knowing more about, would love to talk to you. And also anybody who wants to collaborate with AdiGuru, we would love to talk to you as well. Thank you.
Big applause. So you mentioned you want to grow 5 times this year. How has been the last year, and what was the learning curve in the last year?
It's been good. It's been growing. So what we have learned in the last 2 years, let's put it that way, is we have a solution for FDM, or fused deposition modeling for plastics. There's not as much uptake of in situ monitoring for that because the value is small. But for metals, people love it. Another thing what we have learned recently is, even in metals, our industry being very young, we have to teach people how they can use it to benefit from it.
Yeah.
So we'll be spending a lot of time in 2025 educating people how to use in process monitoring to save them time and money.
What about you need sensors, right? And you need kind of connection.
Yes.
What is the status today? Because I can remember a few years ago that was a big issue to get the connection to the machine in order to extract the data.
Good. Excellent point, Sven. So what we have done at AdiGuru is we use affordable and practical sensors, off-the-shelf sensors. We either can read the data from the sensors in the machine itself, or we can install these affordable and practical sensors and extract the data. If we are adding new sensors, we can read the data directly from those sensors, like infrared cameras, near-infrared cameras, and then automatically get that information into the software without having to talk to the machine.
Yeah.
But we are also integrating with OEMs also, so that we can
that would
work
be
closely with them.
But first I want the audience. Any question from the audience so far before I ask my last and final question? You mentioned the 40% fail rate at the very beginning of your presentation. So has this decreased already with the customers you are working with your software?
If you talk in open, nobody will accept it. But if you talk one-on-one and ask more questions, then you realize the still failure rate's pretty high.
Okay.
And people are getting better, but it's still pretty high. Machines are getting better, but then there's a lot to be done in the industry.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Keep on pushing the part. Thank you so much, and good luck on the fair. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So we are coming to our last startup here in this round, and it is the winner of last year's AM Summit pitch event. And the company is called Perfy Technologies. I hope I pronounce it correctly. And they had been champions of last year's AM Summit pitch event. And they are really shaping the future of healthcare, and they are shaping it with personalized 3D printing solutions. And to be honest, I love solutions about healthcare. It's always great. So forget about lengthy waits and endless appointments. They are pioneering volumetric printing technology to deliver custom hearing aids, and I need them for sure, and dental products in a single visit. This is a game changer for patient care. I couldn't be more excited. So let's welcome Anna here on stage to hear how Perfy is revolutionizing healthcare. Anna, it's a pleasure to have you. Enjoy. Come on over, Anna, a little bit more over here.
Yep, my name is Anna. I am a co-founder and chief product officer of Perfy, and we work with volumetric printing of personalized devices. Now, we all strive for personalization because it brings much higher quality of our products. However, we still associate it with very long waiting time. And for a good reason, because in some fields, typically it takes weeks to have your custom-made parts delivered. So as a result, in some fields, only 20% of the end users benefit from having personalized components. And this is because they are made with traditional layer-by-layer 3D printing, which we all know is slow and requires very laborious post-processing, and therefore has to be outsourced to a centralized facility. Now, what if we can remove all these cumbersome steps and bring personalized production to the point of delivery? For this reason, we created Perfy, a technology platform with patent-fencing volumetric printing, which uses a rotating cylinder with a liquid resin onto which we expose a light that hardens this material instantly. Now, part like this personalized ear molds that normally takes hours to print can be produced with our solution within seconds. So in essence, it is approximately 100 times faster than conventional technologies. And on the top of speed, it also brings one more important quality. In traditional layer-by-layer printing, we have very rough surface that requires multiple hours of polishing. Now, because of the principles of our technology, we have a part that is already shiny as it has been polished. And in terms of innovation, we have also developed a multi-stiffness capabilities. So if we keep the hearing aid example for a bit, we can actually tailor the hardness of our material depending on the geometry of the ear. So for example, soft part inside and hard part outside to protect the electronics. We will be providing our solution in the form of a standalone printing unit, and we will be generating our recurring revenue from selling ready-to-use capsules tailored for a wide variety of applications. Now, with our quick and easy solution, there will be no more reason not to choose personalization. And we have so many opportunities here. And we start with hearing aids, because Perfy is from Denmark. And 3 of the key hearing aid players are based around Copenhagen area. And together, they represent over 64% of the total market share. And we have been in conversation with these companies, as well as public and private hospitals, to work and bring this technology to the market. We have conducted our very first prototype testing at a very well-established hearing clinic and public hospital, and we have recently teamed up with FreeShape to bring our fully automated and instant solution to the premises of one of our hearing aid partners coming in January. And to do this, we have gathered a fantastic experts in various areas. We are also further supported by a seasoned audiologist. We are very proud to be a truly international Polish, Danish, Chinese funding team in addition to diversity in gender and age. And we are so much looking forward to bring this technology out there to the market and make personalization available efficiently and quickly to everybody. Thank you, and I look forward to your questions.
Thank you so much, Anna. Fantastic presentation. Any questions from the audience? Any orders already? Yeah, there's one. Wait a second, you get a microphone?
Thanks. Thank you so much for the presentation. I was wondering, which kind of feedback did you got from the first prototyping?
Overwhelmingly positive. So there are 2 aspects here. So the first one is, in terms of a private clinic, the important incentives is the money. So normally, the customer will not pay the money until the trial period or getting their personalized ear molds. And sometimes they don't come back. So actually, the audiologist is losing money. Whereas with our solution, then can get make the invoice within the first visit. However, it is a little bit different on the public hospitals. And here, when we talked to the head of the 3D printing lab, he told us, guys, this is amazing. This is going to revolutionize everything. Let's put the printer right now. We're like, whoa, I mean, that's great. But then he said something else. He said that, guys, for the first time, it's going to be possible to deliver personalized ear molds to babies because they grow so fast that 2 or 3 weeks waiting time is way too long to deliver that ear mold. So in order to supply them this cognitive development, they should have the customized ear mold, but they don't have it anymore. And that's, when you hear something like that, it's a very positive.
That's motivating, absolutely. So when can we expect that it's standard? So don't get me wrong, because I'm needing hearing aids urgently, and I want, of course, individualized ones. So when can I expect to have it in the speed you are presenting here?
We are aiming for delivering our first printers in 2026.
Yeah.
And actually, it should be standard already now. The reason why audiologists sometimes do recommend the standard ear mold is because of the time. Not everybody has time to come do multiple visits.
Okay. So is it, because normally you have the inlay, is it also if you have the ones that you put totally into your ear as well?
Yes,
Yeah?
yes, as well.
Same. So awesome. This is really a solution. So how far are you already in the dental part of the solution?
We actually have an upscaled solution in our lab where we are
Yeah.
based at the Technical University of Denmark, and we have successfully printed our very first surgical guide. There is still some material development, of course, the MDR approval, all these aspects, but we hope to enter that segment very soon as well.
Very good. And a well-deserved winner at the AM Summit, to be honest. Thank you so much for your presentation. Big applause again, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you
so much. Have a great fair. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, this was the next round. You are gonna enjoy a little bit of our highlights. Please do not forget, the voting is still open. You can vote for the startups until Thursday, 12 p.m. And very important, please join us Thursday evening in presenting the Formnext Awards by my friendly colleague, Frank Jablonski. So stay tuned, enjoy the highlights. See you back in about 3.5 minutes.